Most popular Note series from Xiaomi is back. Sup peeps, Earl here of Yuga Tech, and join me in this full review of the vanilla Redmi Note 13, and let's find out why Xiaomi is calling this base model bound to be iconic. Roll that intro. Let's start with the Redmi Note 13's refreshed design. At the rear, its triple camera module gets simpler with the lenses now placed directly above the glass-like panel. What I like in this new design is how they made the camera layout symmetrical, making it more aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. It even gets complemented with the Redmi moniker and the text prints perfectly aligned with the lenses. The glass finish though is reflective and is a fingerprint magnet. Our unit is in the midnight black colorway, so it's easier to spot the smudges as the light hits the surface. Thankfully, Redmi is generous enough to include a unibody silicone in the box, which I prefer using because of the added protection it brings. Speaking of protection, this phone is only IP54 rated for splash and dust resistance. It gets a flat frame, and despite its large size, it fits comfortably in my hands, thanks to its rounded corners. For iOS, the power button and the volume rocker are on the right side. This leaves the left side clean. While at the top, you'll see a speaker grill, a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is good to have because I'm a sucker for wired headphones. Headphone jack Nazis, rejoice! Of course, it has the iconic IR blaster beside the microphone. And at the bottom is another speaker grill along with a USB port in the hybrid SIM tray. Flipping at the front is the crisp 6.67-inch AMOLED display that runs up to 120Hz refresh rate. Using it outdoors won't be a problem as it can reach up to 1800 nits peak brightness. There's also a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the top for added layer of protection. Not to mention, the phone also comes with a pre-installed screen protector. Up top is a hole punch notch and the display supports in-screen fingerprint sensor. In my experience, it unlocks the phone fast enough with a split-second delay. Also, compared to its predecessor, the Redmi Note 12 and the Note 13 gets thinner bezels, especially at the chin, which brings me to an even more immersive viewing experience. Adding to that is a dual stereo speaker, and surprisingly, it has Dolby Atmos for richer audio quality. It supports wideband L1, which means it will be able to play high definition, full HD, and even 4K streaming content if the device display supports such resolutions. Every shot is bound to be iconic, thanks to its triple rear camera system boasting a 108-megapixel main sensor that's complemented with an 8-megapixel ultra-wide and 2-megapixel macro. Thank God it's not a depth sensor. Under ample lighting, the Redmi Note 13 doesn't disappoint. Photos have rich dynamic range and good clarity to them. Color reproduction is great with slight leaning to cool tones in normal photo mode. It captures good videos capped at 1080p and 30 frames per second and supports some form of electronic stabilization. That goes the same for the selfie camera but without stabilization. Overall, in terms of camera capabilities, this looks to be a great contender for your casual social media sharing. Software-wise, I was expecting it to run Xiaomi's latest HyperOS. To my surprise, it's still running MIUI 14 instead, which is based on Android 13. As expected, there are bloatware pre-installed as I boot up the device for the first time, but these can be easily uninstalled if I wanted to. Since this rocks an AMOLED screen, it supports always-on display with a lot of clock styles to choose from. This feature is important to enable since it's also showing up the icon for fingerprint unlock, and it definitely helps me familiarize the rough location of the sensor. Perhaps one of the best features for me to mention is the IR blaster. I'm glad to see it again on the 13th iteration of the Redmi Note that lets you use the phone as a universal remote for your home appliances. In terms of performance, the Redmi Note 13 absolutely delivers. Under the hood is a reliable Snapdragon 685 chipset, configured with spacious memory at 12GB RAM and ample storage at 256GB, and playing games is a breeze. I was able to get stable frame rates in Asphalt 9, and there's an ultra setting available for Mobile Legends. And I was also playing a lot of Pokemon Unite matches, and the phone did not heat up. And for those who are interested for benchmark results, here are the results that we got. The Redmi Note 13 is capped to 4G connectivity. It supports Bluetooth 5.1, dual Wi-Fi, and NFC. It packs a 5000 mAh battery that lasted a good 13 hours in our standard video loop test. Charging the device won't be a hassle too with its 30 watts fast charging capability. With normal usage, this phone should last more than 2 days on average. To wrap things up, the Redmi Note 13 fits a solid mid-ranger smartphone that delivers a smooth, fast, and satisfying experience. It offers solid specs and features that are surely impressive for a device with a very accessible price point. It also brought significant improvements such as thinner bezels, the fresh new design, and the addition of in-screen fingerprint sensor. And for me, I highly recommend this for those who want an immersive media experience without breaking the bank. And speaking of pricing, we'll flash the entire price variance on the screen now. So, what do you think of the Redmi Note 13? Is its feature set enough to give it an iconic impression? Share thoughts below. Don't forget to follow us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, and visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Earl, and I'll catch you in the next one.